congressional district, Congressman Greg Steube. Mr. Congressman, when you watch that video, this is what the Democrats love. They love being in front of a camera. They love acting, but they never do anything.
Well, it's not surprising for the American people that watch that. You have the border czar who's having this actor led with children talk about space and things that make them feel good and talking to children when, as you've said, over 1 million illegal immigrants have crossed our border, and she's responsible for the border. She's not at the border. She's filming a film with children about space. She's not on the border like she should be, enforcing our laws, which would be a great thing for this administration to actually just enforce the federal law that currently exists, and we wouldn't be having the type of thing happening at the border right now.
If only they would vet people at the border as well as they vetted the kids that were in that production. They all end up being child actors. Nothing we've been seeing from this White House has any sense of reality to it. They even use stages for Biden's photo ops or business meetings. Nothing's real, and yet what everybody actually is living, the reality of it, they're just ignoring it.
No, it's all Hollywood and it's all lies. I mean, we can completely hear Biden lie after lie about COVID or mask mandates or vaccine mandates or what's happening at the border. You know, you've heard Mayorkas actually say the border's closed. Yet we have 60,000 Haitians heading their way to the border and over 1 million people that have come across the border so far just this year, just since Biden has taken office. You have the crisis in Afghanistan that's still ongoing. We still have citizens who are trapped in Afghanistan, and they're going to continue to lie or obfuscate from the things that are actually happening in this country so that people don't actually know the challenges and the crises that are facing America today.
There's such propaganda, and the press is propaganda too at this point, because they're not covering the things that actually matter. All the times that we've had congressional delegations go to the border, governors go to the border, there really is no press coverage of it. But the crisis isn't going away. Just because it's not leading the news cycle as it was with the bridge when all the Haitian illegal immigrants were under that bridge doesn't mean that tens of thousands of people aren't still illegally crossing our border. They are.
No, and it's not going to go away because their policies are encouraging this behavior. When you have an open border and people are watching the news and seeing that now over 1 million illegal immigrants have not only crossed our border, but then put on buses and planes and shipped all across the United States to undisclosed locations that the Biden administration won't tell members of Congress like myself, that's incentivizing people to do it. And then they try to pass a bill in the House to give amnesty to 10 million illegal immigrants that are currently in our country. What do you think is going to happen? Of course, 60,000 Haitians are going to join together in this huge migrant caravan heading to the border because they know that if those bills pass, they're going to get citizenship in the United States by breaking our laws. I mean, it's just absolutely incorrigible, the things that we are seeing happening in our country right now. And this administration is encouraging that behavior.
There's no real study of root causes. We kept being told that Kamala Harris was going to do that. We knew she really wasn't. But on Friday, she could have actually gone down to Mexico with Mayorkas, with the Attorney General. They were actually having a meeting about drug smuggling with the people of Mexico, the leadership in Mexico. She didn't go. Do you think that she's actually been pulled from this, even if she was ever in charge of it to begin with?
No, I just don't think that they want to participate in anything that would be negative press or give legitimacy to the actual crisis that's happening on the border today. Like you saw headlines all across today about the record number of the amount of its cost for barrels of fuel and barrels of gas and the price of gas. Yet the liberal mainstream media says, oh, this is strange. And, oh, it's because of supply chain issue. And it's not because of the Biden policies that he put in place to cut down the Keystone Pipeline and shut down domestic production of oil. Oh, that has nothing to do with it. We want all the oil to come from OPEC and from Russia and from these other things that the administration has encouraged. They want to completely deny what's factually happening on the ground in the United States because that feeds their liberal ideology.
You're right, and nobody covers it, and so then it's the people that are going to have to live through this when it shows up in their communities. We know the opioid crisis is going to get worse. We know that there's going to be acts of terror simply because there is no vetting. What are members of Congress trying to do besides pass amnesty right now?
Well, thankfully, there's a Democrat like Henry Cuellar that's actually saying in a district that's on the border that This is a crisis, and the people in my district don't want all these people illegally crossing the country for COVID reasons, for safety reasons, for security reasons. We have Afghan refugees who are committing crimes on military bases. That's what people in my district are saying. That's what people across the country are saying. But this administration is tone deaf to what's actually happening in the United States because they want this type of behavior. They're encouraging this type of behavior because then they want to pass HR1 and S1 to give the ability to vote to every single person that's in our country, whether they're legally here or not. That's the ultimate goal. So if it feeds their ultimate goal of political hierarchy and being able to entrench the Democrats in these different states, they're going to do it.
Real quick, do you think there are any other rational members of Congress, Democrat members of Congress, that believe as Cuellar does?
I think they believe that, but they're so afraid of the progressive left that they're not going to make a stand and not say that this is not the direction that our country should be going. And there's going to be an account for that in November of 2022 when all these House races are up for re-election and we take the House back because these Democrats are refusing and don't have the courage to stand up for what the policies that they know is best for our country.
And every swing district is going to be impacted by it because, again, this is not really a border crisis at this point. It's an American crisis because every state is going to get this. They're flying these people around the country. Nobody really knows where they're going. Somehow they think we're able to absorb 2 million people this year and who knows how many next year. But Congressman, thank you for your good work out there. Keep fighting back because the American people, we deserve to feel safe in America.
Thanks for having me.